It could be any day, anywhere. A hurricane is brewing. Like many problems, it knows no borders. But as the storm advances across the ocean, it is tracked by satellite. Ships are directed to the shelter of safe harbors. People are warned to evacuate. It's a coordinated response made possible by the international system that shapes our world, the United Nations and its family of agencies. When natural disaster strikes, the United Nations is often the first on the ground, working with governments, aid groups and volunteers to bring emergency humanitarian relief. This is just one aspect of the UN's work, which includes bringing clean water to communities in need, vaccinating children, helping farmers to improve their harvest, and much, much more. But this is not how the United Nations started. After the devastation of World War II, the world needed a workshop for peace, a way to avoid the scourge of war. The solution? An assembly of nations where leaders of countries, big and small, could debate and seek consensus on common action. Today, the United Nations is the one truly global forum with 192 nations represented in the General Assembly. It's the 15-member Security Council that focuses on peace and security, taking action to avert war, resolve conflicts, and limit armaments. It hasn't always worked, but since 1945, the UN has brokered countless peace settlements, and it now keeps the peace in many places across the globe. From Haiti to Lebanon, from Timor-Leste to Liberia, from the Democratic Republic of Congo to Sudan, and in more than a dozen other missions around the world. Places where others cannot or will not go. Places where innocent men, women and children have been forced to flee and have nowhere to go. Development is needed. Development that includes the poorest, almost 1 billion people on Earth, 1 out of every 6 who struggle to survive on less than $1 a day. World leaders have formed a global partnership that sets 8 goals for humanity, collectively known as the Millennium Development Goals. To end extreme poverty, to combat disease and hunger, to promote gender equality, and ensure environmental sustainability. Much remains to be done by the target year 2015, but a real difference has already been made in people's lives. Today, more than ever, the world needs united action to face the many challenges of the new millennium.
We hold the future in our hands. Together, we must ensure that our grandchildren will not have to ask why we have failed to do the right things and left to them to suffer the consequences.
The consequences of a planet in peril. Today, the United Nations is urgently supporting its member states in partnership with civil society and people of goodwill to reach a global, comprehensive and effective plan of action that will address climate change. Uniting in action for the common good. That's what the UN is all about, today and in the future, so that years from now, whenever and wherever the clouds gather, people in need can still find shelter from the storm.